This is the front seat, or one of them, for the Jaguar S-Type /420 models. It's an original one. Customer sent it to us to get it fully trimmed up. So let's take it apart, make it a bit more manageable. So you got the, that was heavy. You got the backrest there. It's got the armrest in it, as you can see there. It's done to original spec. This is what I would call French blue, I believe. So it's a mixture of materials. You've got a fair bit of leather on there, but you've also got elements of vinyl and sort of moquette being used here, and then also sort of cheap nylon-y material there on the cushions around here. But let's stick to the backrest for the time being. It's on the frame at the moment. We're going to strip it down, replace the foams and replace the covers, change the colour. So you've got the armrest here, and just to show you, this is not exactly what you would call the highest of qualities, and this is the original stuff from Jaguar, albeit 50 odd years old, but still, the stitch lines there aren't particularly neat at all. So just always bear in mind, people put these car companies up on a pedestal and expect perfection with their restorations. Perfection is often not achievable, but we certainly offer better than it ever left the factory. So just always keep that in mind, that manage your expectations with these sorts of things, and always worth keeping in mind that Jaguar and other companies were not perfect and are still not perfect. Anyway, so this is a leather face set of seats. Effectively, most people refer it to as leather, but there are elements of vinyl. So just to briefly go over what you've got here, majority of the armrest that's on show there is leather, including this little tab here. However, this bit here will be vinyl. Jaguar actually used a leather cloth vinyled material, as you can see from the backing there. So basically the rule of thumb is that anything that was out of sight for the most part, or not really heavily used, was a vinyl or leather cloth material, the rest of it being leather. The principle being that the bits that touch your body when you're sat in the car are leather, and the backs and surrounds are vinyl. So this bit down here as well, that's a sort of leather cloth vinyl material. Same with this inner part here. But this top bit, which your arm would rest on, that's leather. Then obviously when it's folded away, that's leather as well. These bits all up and around here, and the pleated panels, are leather. This side bit here is vinyl. And if I try and carefully move that around, it's very heavy. The backs here, this is all vinyl material, and then moquette down the bottom here. Move it around here. This bit here is still leather, and that's moquette there. Now let me move that out of the way, because that is ridiculously heavy, and the cushion is substantially lighter. Just slide that out the way. So the cushion, a lot more manageable. Again, majority leather, but with some elements. So you've got leather, these are leather, that's a cheap nylon material. Now we always replace that with a moquette because it looks a lot nicer, carries on underneath there, as you can see on the springs. This is leather around the side here as well, and then normally a moquette or nylon for the retainer around the back. Now the S-Type was famous for its 1-inch pleats, or narrow pleats. They're not quite 1 inch. We refer to them as 1 inch. So some of the earlier cars, like the Daimlers and the Mark IIs, some of them use the 2-inch versions of the pleats, or wider pleats. But these were always 1 inch. They sometimes featured an embossed perforated pattern on them. So as per some of the E-types of the era, they would have had little almost diamonds going in them there. That can be replicated. Originally they were actually sort of perforated, so you actually physically had a hole in them. These days that just isn't an option, but the pattern for aesthetics is fully there, so we can offer that as well. Again, it's a 50-year-old seat, so can't criticize too much, but just some of the thickness and consistencies of some of these pleats are a bit off, I would say. So just sort of pointing out that again, Jaguar weren't exactly perfect with these sorts of things. Like we've always tried to do, we always try to strive for better than original, but just keep in mind that generally speaking, that's not actually too hard to achieve. So that's a set of front seats. Check back for the other video just to see how they all turn out trimmed up.